Survival Dispatch, and got Chris here with me, and we thought we'd have a little bit of fun today and talk about our top 10 favorite barter items. So bartering, it comes up all the time with regards to what do people store, what do people carry, and kind of, what is going to have more value if the economy were to collapse, because that's really what you're wanting to base your barter items on. And let's start with that right there. The first thing you have to do is you have to determine the value in which your barter items are going to have.
Yep.
A lot of people think I can just store a lot of this.
Yeah.
But if that is an item that is easily, like we live in Florida, water is not hard to come by in Florida.
Yeah,
so it does not have a high barter.
Yeah, so bottled water
scale.
wouldn't be a big one to store. Now, if you lived in Arizona, storing bottled water would be a good one.
In the middle of summer,
Yeah.
I mean, and that's what it really becomes is, let's look at the premise of bartering. It is trying to strike a deal where at the end of the day, you hope you come out on top.
Well, where you can get something you don't have by giving up as little of something you have, something you have.
So that's what you're always trying to work for. And I will say the scale always changes.
Yep. Availability, how much is in the market per se.
Yep.
Like you just said, bottled water here wouldn't be a big one, but boy, cans of mosquito repellent would be.
Yeah.
Just an example.
And it's the same with based on situation as well. To me, water might not be worth anything.
Yeah.
But if Chris has a gallon of water and I have none, it's worth its weight in gold to me at that point.
Yeah.
So the barter scale always changes as well. So what you want to try to do is broaden your bartering supplies so that you're best able to fit those different areas.
Yep.
So that you get as good of a trade as possible.
The tighter a niche something fills, the more it's going to be worth.
Yeah.
So
what we did was we came up with our top 10 favorite bartering items / categories.
In no particular order too. These aren't like
no order
number
at all.
one. It's just
so we're just going to go through. So you got to stick around all 10. I don't want to hear comments below like you missed that one and you just got to 4 and you stopped watching.
Yeah.
So here we go. So number 1, salt and sugar.
Those are two that always hold their value. Yep. There was a time in history when salt was worth more than gold. And sugar's the same kind of thing. And we can even include other spices in there as well, but salt and sugar is the foundation of those two things. Your body needs salt, especially if you're inland and you don't live over a salt mine, it's very hard to produce. So storing it and having it on hand is a really good idea.
Yeah, I love salt and sugar as a bartering item because they never go bad.
Nope.
So, if you buy $100 worth of salt and sugar today, you don't have to worry about it ever going. It's not like hey, every year I got to spend another $100 in order to have the same amount of bartering item in storage.
And the good thing about it too is you can scale it up or down.
Yep.
So I can give you a couple ounces or I can give you a couple pounds depending on what you're trying to trade for and what its perceived value is to you. So they're easy to scale.
And the other thing that I like about salt and sugar as well is the time and the country that we live in. People have become extremely accustomed to salt and sugar.
Yes.
We all have a sweet tooth or we all have a savory tooth, period. And people do not like eating bland food.
No.
So anything that you can do to help them in their food, they're going to see a lot of value in it.
Well, and think too, I'll bet you 95% of the households in America have one of those 1 pound round cans of salt in their cupboard. And maybe a 5-pound bag of sugar.
Maybe a little brick.
Yeah, in the cupboard, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that 1 pound of salt will run out quick.
Yeah.
Especially when you're doing more physical activity, you're sweating more, you're going to need to be consuming more of it, and you may be relying on foods too, like if you're eating rice and beans, you're going to be needing a lot of salt to make that stuff palatable. So they're not something a lot of people store. So by storing those, you're going to have something that's in demand.
Yeah. So number 1 on our list is salt and sugar. Number 2, coffee.
If you're a coffee drinker, we need to say no more.
Yeah.
And if you're not a coffee drinker, you can easily become one in that time frame. It's a stimulant. It helps curb hunger pains, keep you awake, all sorts of stuff. And everybody likes a cup of coffee every now and then. If you don't, you're a commie and you need to leave.
Yeah, and and once again, coffee is one of those that I think hits high on my list.
Yeah.
To keep alertness up. It's also something that is quasi-habit forming.
Very much so.
People just love to have it. So if you find a guy that just loves to have it and is out,
we'll trade you anything for it.
He'll trade you anything for it.
Yeah.
If you live, in colder areas, coffee I think is even in more demand because it's just something that can warm you up on a cold day. So I like coffee. Patriot Food Storage, I believe it is. They sell coffee that has like a 25-year shelf life, freeze-dried coffee. I have quite a bit of that. It's not
Black Rifle coffee.
Not super. It's not super expensive though to get it in a freeze-dried, bag. So that's what I do. So number 2 on the list is coffee. Yep. Number 3, feminine hygiene products and toilet paper.
Yeah, those in general. Even throw diapers into that mix too. So those kind of hygiene products. A lot of prepping is done by guys. Now, believe me, there's a lot of women out there that are involved in this, and I'm not trying to discount them, but everybody, when they think of this, it's always a guy thing, guns and knives and camo and cool stuff like that, and we forget about the women. I have a wife and 3 daughters. Feminine hygiene products are big. Yeah, I have no idea. And she's sitting right there. They're high on my list. We store quite a bit of it. We even have reusable versions because if it comes to it, that's what we're going to go to. So having that kind of stuff that you can trade, especially if someone has a baby, think about it. You may not have an infant, but storing a couple packs of diapers away in your stuff may help somebody in your group or someone who becomes a part of your group, or you may be able to barter those away to someone who really needs them. Yeah,
that comes about.
Yeah, or you could, we throw condoms on the list too to keep from the addition. But yeah, you may not need them, but someone you may know may need them. And toilet paper kind of goes without saying. Here in the United States, we're pretty spoiled in our use of that. In other places, they don't necessarily use TP like we do, other parts of the world. But that's something that you're going to use it every day.
Yeah.
If you're healthy and not in a bad bind, literally, pun intended. You're going to need the stuff every day. So storing those kind of products, not only for your own use, but for those of others and to maybe barter with, could come in quite handy.
And I will say, feminine hygiene products is usually something that hardly anybody keeps more than a month's supply on hand.
Yeah.
That's just I think how most are. It, sits under the kitchen or the bathroom cabinet, and they just you just don't think of it very often. So that's number 3 on the list.
Well, what happens is they get that month's supply and then they spread it around. It's under the bathroom cabinets and the glove box of the car, or some in their purse or something. So store it away.
So number 3, feminine hygiene products, toilet paper, and diapers. So number 4 on the list, ammo.
And there's the quandary, everybody. I'll never trade my ammo away. Well, if you're really, really hungry, or you have someone who's ill, and Joe has antibiotics, and he's not trading for anything but 5.56 ammo, you're going to give up some ammo. Yep. So ammo is kind of like that universal precious metal that, in a nice, neat package. It's good to store some just to barter with. You very well may need to trade it, whether you say you want to or not. That's why I try to never say never when I'm talking about preparedness, because we don't know what we're going to be doing or what we're capable of till the time comes. So
yeah, and ammo is one of those things too. I tend to think it's something that I would only trade to somebody that I know. If for any reason Chris needed ammo, that would be something that, I'd give it to him, but that would be something that I would trade to somebody I knew, a good neighbor, somebody like that was within your group. Letting it go outside of your knowledge base of who somebody is.
You're running a risk.
You can run a risk
of getting it back. The hard way.
But also with ammo, it should always be common calibers.
Yeah.
Don't stock 1,000 rounds of 32 auto. It's not going to go far.
Yeah.
Okay.
45-70.
Yeah. Keep it to extremely common rounds. Another thing with ammo, I work in the gun industry. People give me boxes of ammo all the time that they want me to try or demo or something like that. And if it's calibers I don't even shoot, if I don't give it away, I just store it and keep it. And who knows, you might find somebody that need it at a later date. But I try to keep it extremely common ammo calibers only. So that's number 4. Number 5, tobacco and alcohol.
Well, the vice of life right there. Those two things are are easily barterable. Like you said before about coffee being kind of habit forming. Obviously tobacco we know is habit forming. And those who have the habit are going to want to keep their habit, and it's tough to let go. Alcohol's the same way. It can be used for medicinal things, of course, but then just even to take the edge off. You know, if you're 6 or 7 months into a bad time and you could take a drink to relax one evening, it can make a difference. And then there's just those alcoholics out there, you know, who are going to need it just like they need tobacco. So easily barterable. Again, you can break them down. You know, if you got a gallon jug of rum, you don't have to trade the whole gallon jug of rum. You can pour it off into another little bottle, trade that away. So,
yeah, I love both of these as far as barter items. I do not smoke or chew, so tobacco to me it doesn't have hardly any value to me personally. I have no addiction to it. What I like about both of these is their value goes up.
Oh, as time goes on.
As time goes on.
Yeah, the farther you get away from the event.
Their value goes exponential.
Yeah, coffee's the same way.
Yeah.
Actually, everything on this list is that way, really. But
some
for those,
scale quicker.
These scale real fast.
Yeah.
They scale real fast.
And you'll find people, you know, if you came across somebody and they're like, oh, I don't have any toilet paper, they'll find another
They can
means.
find a way.
If you find a guy that hasn't had a cigarette in a couple of weeks, he will trade anything for a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
And another thing that I like about tobacco is it can lead to constant trade lines with somebody also. Like if you know Bob needs a pack of cigarettes, you can pretty much guarantee when Bob's going to come back for a second pack of cigarettes, you know, and the value can keep going up. You know, alcohol, I like alcohol because once again, like salt and sugar, it pretty much stays for forever.
Yeah, it's good forever.
It's never going to go bad. So whatever money you put into it is never by any means going to be wasted.
And it'll always be cheaper today than it will be tomorrow.
Yeah,
so.
And you know, medicinal reasons like that as well for cleaning out wounds if it's a clear
making tinctures, stuff like that.
So you know, they both have their causes, but I like both of those in my bartering skills. So that's number 5. Number 6, food and water.
Food and water. Those kind of go without saying, you know, I mean, we all need to eat and we all need to drink water. Of the things we've listed so far, those are the 2 things that people will need every single day. You have to have them. Yeah, you can go a few days without water, not very many, depending on where you are, you might not be able to go a whole day. And you can go a week or so without food. All the survival manuals always like to say 30 days without food. You can go 30 days without eating. You can technically do that and be alive, but your energy levels fall off quick. You'll find that you can't do nothing. It gets very difficult to even concentrate on simple tasks. Motor skills start to fade. Your cognitive skills start to fade. So you do need food. And trading food away, that's pretty easy. And it doesn't have to be good, per se, good food. You know, a 5-gallon bucket of beans and rice that was simply for bartering that you doled out into 1-quart Ziploc bags can be worth a lot in trade goods to people who are really hungry. You know, and you may not always even be trading other stuff to them. It could be even for trading labor or skills. You know, I've got some food. You come over here and dig these ditches and clean out my latrine, and I'll give you a pound of rice and a pound of beans. You know, so food and water, especially water too. If you're in the desert southeast or southwest, or the high plains desert, any of that area where water's scarce, water can be just more valuable than food because you can't live as long without water as you can without food. So they kind of go without saying. Yeah,
and you know, and also, you know, ways to filter water could be thrown in there as well with regards to filters, chlorine tab, iodine tab, anything like that. You know, to disinfect water would also be thrown into there. So you know, food and water. I mean, that's easy to you know, have in your preps, and it's also something that you're going to use no matter what if something were to happen.
And you're going to have it too. Hopefully you're going to have it. If you're watching this video, you're the kind of people that are thinking of this stuff, so you should have it. So you may need to barter some away, and just plan ahead. You know, like I said, it doesn't have to be the good stuff. You know, you don't have to be trading away the good stuff, but put away a little something to barter with.
All right, so next in line here, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Number 7. Number 7. Batteries, as some would say.
Well, you know, what I like to say about power is a guy that, Stephen Harris, he does a lot of stuff on backup power, and he likes to say that when there is no power, a little power goes a long way. So imagine the typical scenario, everybody likes to talk about EMPs, that kind of thing, where there is nothing, but you can put some batteries in a flashlight, now you have light at night. That's a big deal. Or maybe you can put it in an AM radio or something to that effect.
Yeah.
Having that ability transforms the night for you too. Now you can do things in the dark, whereas before you wouldn't be able to. So batteries are a big deal for radios, flashlights, for all the stuff that we carry batteries for.
Yeah, and and a lot of people will say like, oh, I use rechargeable batteries. Oh, I got solar panels. Most prepared people do.
Yeah.
Non-prepared people
Don't.
have a crappy plastic AA or like C battery flashlight in their kitchen drawer.
Yeah.
So they are going to be 100% dependent on batteries.
Mm-hmm.
So I only store batteries it's kind of like ammo in the sizes that I use flashlights for. I don't care. I don't store D cell batteries. I don't have mag lights
I store
anymore,
AA's and AAA's in quantity. I have D cells because I use the Streamlight lanterns. They take D cells, but rechargeables. That's what I have. So I've invested in the rechargeables, and that's what I use for those. But I have AA's and AAA's. I also have those in rechargeable.
Yeah.
But I'll barter away the alkaline versions because.
And with batteries, I know they're more expensive. Lithiums last a whole lot longer. You don't have to worry about corroding, anything like that. So lithiums definitely over alkaline batteries. So if you're thinking long-term storage, and what I like about barter stuff is, it's not like a subcategory of like crap I'm never going to use. It's part of your prep.
Stuff you need to be collecting anyway.
So collect the stuff that's going to work for you and the quality that you want.
What's the round one? Most optics take it 30.
Oh, a 20-35.
20.
A 30-25.
30-25.
Or a 30-32.
Yeah, 30-32. That's what I'm thinking. A 30-32 is the
watch batteries.
the round lithium battery that most optics take.
Yeah.
Storing some of those away could be a very valuable barter item. You have somebody show up that has, a Trigicon RMR or something on a weapon, and it's dead because he don't have a battery or an aim point, and you've got one of those. That could very well get you some very nice barter goods out of him. So think outside the box a little bit.
So number 7, batteries. Number 8, medicine.
Meds, antibiotics, painkillers, even over-the-counter stuff like cortisone creams, aspirin, Advil, Tylenol, all that stuff should all be stored in quantity. If you can get prescription grade stuff, even better, store it away. Antibiotics, I think, will be a very high demand barter item because everybody's so used to being able to run to the doctor, get what they need. And the pharmaceutical industry does a really good job of convincing people of getting rid of stuff when it's expired. It's really still good for quite some time that people won't have on hand. Drugs that they ordinarily would that are still good, but they're thrown away because the pharmaceutical industry does such a good job.
Yeah.
So storing all that stuff, even the OTC stuff, storing it can be a huge difference in comfort and health.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Even things with regards to antacids.
Oh yeah.
And things like that.
Antacids
can really help people. With what needs to happen there. So that's number 8. Moving on here, number 9, fuel.
Of all varieties, gas, diesel, kerosene, propane, you name it, fuel in all varieties, because you're going to need it anyway, probably.
Yep.
And if you don't, you can barter it away. And again, all this stuff is things that could be subdivided. Quart of gas, maybe instead of a gallon to somebody, or what have you. So yeah, fuel in all varieties.
Yeah, and it's one of those things too. Fuel is difficult to stabilize over a long time. It degrades. There is fuel stabilizers and things like that out there that really help prolong the life of fuel.
That's why I like diesel. It'll last a decade.
Fuel also, with regards to gasoline, it should be something that you rotate very regularly. So every month or two, you can take, let's just say you got 20 gallons. Take those 20 gallons, put it in your car.
And then refill your cans.
And you got fresh fuel again. And just, get in the habit of every couple of months, you
top
it off, you fill it up. But fuel is something that can make somebody's life a whole lot easier. If they got a tractor or something that you can part diesel with, it has a very high potential return
Yeah,
based on the fact that they're going to be able to do more.
Yeah, and even if it's like gas, yeah, well, it doesn't last long. You may not be using it for your car, but there could be an emergency situation where somebody needs to run a generator for some reason.
Yep.
And having the gas to do so, or being able to provide them the gas, you'll reap benefit from that also. And then the last one is the one that I know everybody's been waiting to hear, and we stuck it at the bottom on purpose. Precious metals.
Precious metals.
Gold and silver.
Yep.
So personally, I don't look at PMs as a barter item as much as I look at them as a storage of wealth for today. Because if the banks close Friday and they don't open until the following week past Monday, and they say there's a new dollar, I can go get more new dollars with gold and silver than I can with my old dollars. That's why I store this stuff. And I mean, I'd trade it if I had to. I just bought $500 and some odd dollars worth of pre-64 quarters.
Good old silver.
One of our guys on the Insider bought a storage locker, found $12,000 worth of silver quarters in it. He bought it for like 150 bucks. $12,000 worth of pre-64 quarters in it. So I bought $500 worth of them from him.
So, precious metals, I believe in the bartering world is an extreme long game.
Yeah.
If we just had a societal collapse tomorrow, your gold it doesn't have a value to somebody.
Well,
right now.
There'll be a
like if a gas station was open, and I'm trying to get home, and my truck is almost out of gas.
Right.
If I whip out an ounce of gold, if somebody knows that it's not going to go far for them right then, they'd rather just have cash at that point.
Well,
They would take cash only.
In the very beginning of an event, gold and silver will be worth something, and you'll be able to get a lot with them. Then it's going to fall.
Yeah.
And at the bottom, it won't be worth nothing. But then, as we move through the disaster and time passes, they'll start to come back up again. So in the immediate post-event, it's worth something, and then way down the road post-event is worth something. But in the midterm, that's when it won't be worth a lot because people are going to look at a gold coin and go, I can't eat this, and what the hell am I going to do with it?
I can't shoot it.
Yeah, exactly. So they do have a place, and everybody I think should have some.
Yeah, I agree.
But, don't use that as your sole barter bank. Have other stuff in your barter bank, like the things we've been talking about. Stuff people can actually use, eat, consume. Consumables, think of that.
Yeah.
It's stuff that people consume because when the factories stop making the stuff, however much exists at that time is all there will ever be. And the more of it you happen to have at the time, the more of it you can use yourself or trade out.
Yeah. And where I like precious metals is if you have to travel abroad.
Yep.
A lot.
Gold coins are good get out of jail free cards in third world countries.
So I've always packed them when I went overseas because a silver dollar is known wherever you go.
Yeah.
A gold coin is known wherever you go. Even a tenth of an ounce of gold coin.
That's how I buy. I buy 10th ounce. I like the fractionals, gold.
So guys, that's our top 10 bartering items list. If you'd like to see us do any more top 10 issues, feel free to leave a comment below. Let us know what you guys would like for us to discuss. I hope you guys enjoyed your time with us today going over these fun barter items.
Let us know what's on your barter list too.
Yeah.
What did we miss? What are we not storing away that you guys think we ought to have?
So we hope you guys enjoyed it, and until next time, be safe.